Microphone check. You are now tuned into the network. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me go ahead and turn off these loud routers since we're going to be going with Boson NetSim. I asked in the Discord server what everybody wanted to go with today because I, wasn't sure if I wanted to do Boson NetSim or use my physical hardware for the lab today, but shout out to Caden Collins for responding. He said, let's go ahead and go with Boson NetSim. I was like, all right, bet. Even though I had these bad boys fired up. And then somebody else responded. I don't know who it was. NH2122, that's me. And he said, let's go with physical hardware. I was like, nope. Caden already answered, man. yeah, I got a new soundboard today, so I was playing with that. I was like, why didn't I think about this shit a long time? I always use the sound effect. Let's go ahead with some more sound effects, man. This was the lab we was going to work with for physical hardware. Similar to when we did, I think, earlier in the week. Except they added a cloud. They probably just put, you could probably put the router there and give it a loopback address of that right there and cable it up to that bad boy. But I took a nap and woke up a little later than I thought, than I expected. And I was like, that's not going to give me enough time to prepare for this lab. Even though it was already cabled up. Most of it is cabled up. So we could have went with that, but it's going to go longer. The stream with the hardware usually goes longer than I thought. So I was like, let's go ahead and go with something else. So, yeah, today we're going to work with Boson NetSim. I haven't done these labs, so we're going to do it together. As you can see, all the ones with the green check marks are what we've done so far. I know some of y'all are probably like, wait a minute, we didn't do all of this, man. We didn't do all of this. Yes, we did. I took a 2-month hiatus, and then we jumped right back into it with the first routing protocols. And then, so we're going to wrap those up, do GLBP tomorrow with the physical hardware, and then Boson maybe later on, maybe the next day. We'll do some troubleshooting with the first hop routing protocols, and then we'll wrap those bad boys up. And then I want to jump into NAT so we can get into this right here. And then once we get all this taken care of, oh, and somebody, I can't remember who asked me earlier in the stream, earlier in the week, if we could do some automation. And I was like, I don't know, man. Well, guess what? Boson NetSim has an automation lab, and it is located right there. Introduction to Python. And then they also have JSON using Python, configuring an embedded event manager. And I was like, we're finally going to get into some automation here, man. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to do that. So what we're going to do is first we'll knock out most of these other, all these other labs. And once we get down here, we'll knock out some MTP, some security stuff. And then we'll get into automation. And then we'll get to the nitty gritty with an RC, which is the exam that I was actually studying for before I failed it. Y'all shouldn't have gave me this sound effect, man. But yeah, I did fail it, and then I took, that's another reason why I had stopped streaming and stuff like that. I was kind of like down in the dumps and stuff like that. But we gonna get right back into it, man. Let me pull up the chats over here because how can you customization? Let me get the we're gonna do authentication, and then if we got time we'll do the object tracking lab. So let me bring that bad boy up. Again, I haven't done this yet. We're gonna do this together. Let's pop this bad boy up. No, not the topology, we want the instructions out. Float that bad boy. Again, shout out to Caden Collins for letting me know. Let's go ahead and do the Boson NetSim lab. I was like, yeah, you know what, I agree, man, because we're gonna be able to knock this out, and I got some stuff to do later on tonight, so I ain't gonna have time to be the hardware labs. I don't know if y'all know the hardware labs be taking me a bit because I gotta cable it up. Sometimes I'll go on Instagram Live, which, by the way, if you're not follow me on Twitter and Instagram at NetworkBruh, and I usually I'll stream before. I'll go on IG Live before I start streaming and stuff like that. Give you kind of behind the scenes look, me cabling up the hardware and stuff like that. And copy this bad boy. Use it in my favorite network topology application. Whatchamacallit? Let's see, new, save, paste. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Resize. 1 to 0. I'll read another. We'll read a current event here. Get some people time to tune into the stream. Select this. Do Make it a little bit bigger. I don't mean to do that. Give me a second here.
Another one.
That's not what I wanted.
A few moments later.
Alright, here we go. Let's get the brush going here. Y'all told me, if y'all see it, when y'all go on Instagram Live, y'all see all the work it take to prepare for these streams and stuff like that. Caden said he is down to be down with either one. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I was down for it too, but you already answered, and we're going to get right into it right now. So make sure y'all join the Discord server if you're not joined. If not, if this is the first time you're watching this channel, make sure you subscribe. If you have, if you're on the Discord server, you'll get like an inside scoop of when I stream, when I do, you know, kind of like behind the scenes and stuff like that. Pull that video up. Can I pull that up, man? Let's pull this up. I don't want any. I mean, it is what it is. There it is right there. All right. We got Bubba Boy 1840. Appreciate you for tuning in. Glad you shaking back. Hey, appreciate you for tuning in, man. We're going to get right into this, man. The invite to the Discord server. It is in the chat right there. Make sure you're joined, and then again, you'll get to see. You'll know when I'm gonna go on. Well, you ain't gonna know when I'm gonna go on IG Live, but I usually just jump on IG Live when I'm ready to stream and stuff. So let me mute that. I guess we can skip straight to live. I think we kind of prepared now. Y'all let me know if you guys have a copy of Boson NetSim. The good folks at Boson gave me a copy of this. We're using Boson NetSim version 13. If you want to follow along, launch this lab right here in the CCNP Encore Labs. It is Vrrp Authentication. So similar to what we did with the HSRP authentication, we're just kind of we're setting the password between between routers that are in a VRRP group. Remember what VRRP is, right? It is a first hop redundancy protocol that we use to create redundancy with our first hop, right? What's the other one I wanted to use? Oh, I ain't got one. I ain't got a sound effect for that just yet, man. I was trying to do one for like duh, but let's where's the lab at? Where's the lab at? Y'all got any questions so far before we get started? I'm just gonna wait till some people get tuned in and stuff too. Let me move this bad boy over. I told y'all it's a lot of work to get these prepared. Wireless growth. IoT and cars will drive semiconductor demand. Duh. Supply chain issues and talent retention remain top challenges for chip makers, according to KPMG. The ongoing deployment of 5G networks, IoT, y'all know what that is, right? Internet of Things, and demand from the automotive sector are the three biggest drivers of semiconductor revenue in the coming fiscal year, according to a new survey and analysis issued by KPMG. The accounting firm noted that the semiconductor maker had shifted their organizational structures in response to those trends, with 53% of respondents reporting that they have increased their focus on specific operational requirements for hot applications and away from general use chipsets that can be used in multiple products. Indeed, the top challenge in terms of developing products and taking them to market, as cited by 30% of respondents, it is the fact that customers are requiring more complex solutions. So they're requiring, basically there's a chip shortage, and they're trying to meet the demands of more complex, I guess, applications. I can't even read the rest of the article here because Networking World likes for you to pay for their articles right here. To read the rest of their articles, rather. I ain't got a sound effect for that. See, I got to be quick with these, man. I got money. I ain't got one for that one.
A few moments later.
Yeah, see, you got to be quick with these soundboards, man, or else you just miss that moment. So,
Nope.
Let's go ahead and go on with the show. Step number one. Let me close the other lab, the physical lab we was gonna do. Close that bad boy. Close this. I got so many damn windows here, man. Close this bad boy. Fuck this article. That one. Let's see. Udemy. I've been doing some Udemy videos and stuff too. In this lab, we will configure VRRP environment. And VRP authentication. VRP is a network protocol that can be used to ensure the immediate, transparent recovery of first hop failures in the network edge by providing network redundancy. So really similar to HSRP, except that it's open standard. They use virtual MAC addresses, a different virtual MAC address. We didn't talk about what the format is for HSRP and the HSRP videos. What else can we say about it? Let's bring up the cheat sheet. Do I got the cheat sheet here? I know I got a cheat sheet for it. First hop redundancy. There it is right there. Shout out to Jeremy Stretch at packetlife.net. If you want to copy this cheat sheet, they got a whole bunch of cheat sheets here. It's an open standard alternative to Cisco's HSRP, providing the same functionality. So work just like HSRP, except that it's an open standard. What else can we say about it? It is RFC 3768 for any of you RFC nerds. There is no load balancing, no IPv6 support. Uses transport IP protocol 112. The default priority for all of them is 100. The default hello is 1 second, and it uses this multi-gas address. The verbiage is different for VRRP. Remember, we said in HSRP we have an active router, a standby router. Everybody else is listening. With VRRP, we got a master, a backup, and everybody else is backups. That's it. Actually, it's just a master, and everybody else are backup routers. And then depending on what their priorities are and stuff like that, that's who is the priority. So there's just a master and a backup. GLBP also has a different verbiage as well. They have active virtual forwarding and active virtual gateway. And then here's the configuration. Really similar to HSRP. We go to the interface. We do VRP, the group number, IP, and then the IP address, and then we can set all these other optional parameters. So really similar to HSRP. It's just
Another one.
FHRP, another first hop routing protocol. This is the topology we're gonna be working with. We already pulled it up, right? Paint is right here, right? You guys got both on NetSim fired up, right? This is the VRRP Authentication Lab, VRRP Authentication 1. We got some basic commands here. I'll show y'all real quick. Some basic commands that we already know about, right? Configure terminal and stuff like that. Pinging, show run. Then here's the syntax, which we just covered. We got authentication there. The IP preemption is also another thing about VRP. Preemption is enabled by default. When you got to turn it on with HSRP, VRP, you ain't got to turn it on. It's already on. So if you have something else that come on with a higher priority, if the IP address is not set up to be the virtual IP, then you will automatically preempt any other routers that have a lower priority. We're going to configure VRP for VLAN 2 using plain text authentication first on DSW1, which is this guy on the left. DSW1, that guy. I know I need a tablet here, right? Go to lab topology, DSW1, make sure we're consoled into him. It should be the master router for VLAN 2 on your company's network. DSW1 should be the backup. So this guy is the master. This guy is the backup. In this task, you will configure VRRP Group 2 for VLAN 2. DSW1 should take over as the master role when DSW2 goes down. So, yeah. You will also configure authentication to make sure that only DSW1 and 2 can be the master VRP router for VLAN 2. On DSW1, configure Group 2 to automatically prompt router election when DSW1 has the highest priority for Group 2. So I guess turn on enable, like, is VRP is remember I said preemption is on by default, so I don't know why they said to do that, but let's just go to global config mode. They say automatically prompt router election, so I guess we should just give it the IP address. Group 2 is what, VLAN 2? Interface VLAN 2? And then set that to be the priority, I guess. Let's look at the remember I haven't done this just yet, right?
Nope.
We can do VRRP. I know it says there's a different IP address, but we could also set it to be the physical interface right there, and it'll automatically be, I think that's what they wanted to do, automatically prompt router election when DSW1 has the highest priority. I think that's what they wanted to do here, because they didn't specify the IP address. Oh, they do later on in the lab. they do later on in the lab. I don't know. Let's go.
A few moments later.
Let's go to DSW1 interface VLAN 2. Configure group 2 to automatically prompt. So that means not standby. See, I've been doing HSRP all day long, all week. VRRP2, and then what can we do? I guess enable preemption of the lower master, lower priority master. What y'all think? I think we should just do preempt right there, because it says to automatically prompt VRRP router election when DSW1 has the highest priority. So preempt like that. Y'all think that's how you, is that what they want? Are they asking for preemption here? Y'all let me know. Or do we just put the virtual IP address? Let's just do that. I'm gonna just do that for now. For now. On DSW1, configure our authentication for group 2. Use a plain text password of Boson Lab, but it's written out. So VRRP group number 2, and then use a plain text password. So in this case, authentication. Plain text? No, it's not plain text. What am I thinking? It's just, you just write it out. So in this case, it's 80 $0 November capital L 48. That's supposed to say Boson Lab. Press enter. No, they said text. Oh, so we got to put text and then that. So let's do this. Let's put text. Oops, text, and then what? And then the lab, and then that. So that's what I had to do. I had to add the text keyword there. On DSW2's VLAN 2 interface, configure a priority of 110 for group 2. So we're gonna go to DSW2, set his priority to be 110. Go to global config mode, interface VLAN 2. Y'all got any questions so far? I haven't been paying attention to the chat over there. My bad, y'all. We got Pete. Pete in the building. He said, "Love those sheets." What sheets? Oh, you talking about? Oh man, listen, man. I ain't even got the webcam turned on. Y'all ain't even say nothing, man. Let me turn that on real quick. Microphone check. Bam. My bad, y'all. He said, "I don't know what you meant by I love those sheets, though, man." What? I need to get this guy out of the way. No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted the webcam PNG, that one out of the way. There we go. All right, so put those chats there. All right, cool. So on interface VLAN 2 on DSW2, he said priority of 110 group 2. The cheat sheets, not your bed. Oh, okay. I was like, what the fuck? You meant the cheat sheets. Okay, I see what you're saying. I was like, well, how you see my bed, man? So VRRP group 2 priority, he said 110. I don't know if that's gonna change anything here yet. Let's see with the DSW2, DSW1, what happened. Nothing just yet. We didn't put them in the same group yet, so that's what it is. We gotta configure that. On DSW2, configure group 2 to automatically prompt router election when DSW2 has the highest priority. So I think that's preemption as well. But I thought, like I said, I thought preemption was enabled by default, so I don't know why they got us doing this. Whatever. VRRP2 preempt. I think that's what they want. Maybe they want us to hard code it. I don't know. What else? Based on what of you? Let's see. Okay, here. Step number 5. On both DSW1 and DSW2, configure group 2 to use a virtual IP address of 10.10.2.3. So let's go ahead and do that. VRRP group 2 IP is going to be 10.10.2.3. Remember, this was the syntax that we said. It's very similar to HSRP. We just changed the keyword to VRRP, and then that's it. It's just like HSRP as far as that goes. He became the master. DSW2 is not a master. Let's go to DSW1 and do the same thing. It's probably going to be broken because we set the password to be on one side. You see there? We got the We got the bad authentication there.
Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So we probably got to put the password on the other side, right? Let's go to DSW2 interface VLAN. Where I think we're in VLAN 2 right over here so far already. We need to set the virtual IP. So VRRP2 IP 10.10.2.3. He is not a master. This guy is also a master. So now we got two separate masters here, right? Why is that? Because of the bad authentication. We only got the password on one side. That's the main reason why. On DSW1, display VRRP information for group 2. Which router appears to be the master router for group 2? Let's see. Let's show VRRP brief. Y'all know what's funny? I think VRRP brief works on actual hardware. So shout out to Caden for saying we should have got the or NH. Well, I forgot what his name is in the Discord server, but said we should probably use hardware. That command I believe works. Show VRRP brief, but it doesn't work in both on NetSim, as you can see. So let's just do a show VRRP, and then they wanted to know which router appears to be the master router for group 2. So group 2, the master says VLAN 2, DSW2 is the master, and then DSW1 says show VRRP. It says he is also the master. So that's not a good sign. We got two masters here. We can only
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
we can only have one master, right? We can only serve one master here. So that ain't right. On both DSW 1 and 2, compare the group configuration based on what you've configured so far. What could be causing the problem? Well, we already figured that out. And then plus the router spitting at us right here. Bad authentication. We only got a password on one side. Correcting configuration error you've noted in the previous step. So let's go ahead and put the password on the other side. Let's go to DSW2. And you see it's throwing up at us over here too. Go to global config mode, interface VLAN 2, and then VRRP 2, authentication, text, and then the password was what we said it was, 80 $0 November Lima 48. That should stop those messages right there. Let's see. Are we still getting these bad authentication messages?
A few moments later.
Sick hair, by the way, and appreciate it, man. I took the braids out, man. I just kind of and combed it out. Did we do the virtual IP? Yes, we just did. We just did it on both sides. Caden said BH. I don't know what you mean by that. Was that the name of the person that was? I don't know. Is that a typo? Y'all can hear me on the microphone here, right? Let me know if you can't hear me, because sometimes these microphones and stuff be tripping. Okay, so we're not getting that message anymore. So that was the problem. We had the password on one side. Let's see here. Correct the configuration. We did that. Allow time for the network to converge on both DSW1 and DSW2. Display VRRP information for group 2. So let's do that. DSW1. Show VRRP. You could actually put group 2, I believe, on the physical hardware as well. You can put like show VRRP 2 and it'll show you information on it, but I don't think that works in both on NetSim. We have the authentication text here. Let's do the same thing on DSW2. Show VRRP. DSW2. Which router is the master VRRP for group 2? Which is the backup for the group? So who's master and who's backup for group 2? So it looks like on DSW2 I am the master, and DSW1 says I am the backup. So that looks like it's fixed now, right? I don't know why they told us. It sounded like they made us hard code preemption, when typically preemption right here, this feature is on by default for VRRP. So I don't know why they had us do that. Maybe we'll go into answers and check in a bit. Caden Collins said, "Whoops, did not mean to type that. Ignore." Oh, okay, it's all good, man. I was locked.
What?
On PC1, trace the path to router 1's loopback 0 interface. Is traffic from PC1 being forwarded to router 1 by DSW2? So DSW2 is the master, right? This guy right here. We made one. This guy right here is the master. So we want to ping the loopback on this guy right here. We want to ping this loopback. And that was PC. What PC was that? PC1, which is right here. They want us to see if we're going to take that to get to the loopback on here. Because remember, this guy was the master. And then we changed the priority, flipped it up, did some configuration. And then instead of the traffic going this way, we set it so that way the traffic should theoretically be going this way. So let's do a trace route to see if that happens. Let's go to PC1. And then ping 172.16.0.1. Hang on a second. Not a ping. That's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was a trace. So trace route to 172.16.0.1. Do a trace route. We got a reply. And he took 10.10.2.2, which is the interface on show IP interface brief, the master router right there, local. So it did what theoretically it was supposed to do. So it did go this way to make it to the loopback on router 1. So task number 2 is to set up authentication, and then we're gonna wrap up that lab, and then maybe we'll just move on to object tracking. You have configured VRP authentication on group 2. However, the authentication string you've sent is plain text. So now they probably gonna have us remove that and then make it obfuscate that password, right? How do you say that word?
What the fuck?
Obfuscate the password, right? Basically kind of jumble the password up. We're actually gonna do a hash algorithm, right? MD5. Therefore, group 2 authentication string could be intercepted and configured on a rogue VRP device. Basically, somebody could see that password. In this task, you will strengthen VRP authentication using an MD5 hash that is generated. On both DSW1 and DSW2, remove that authentication password. So once we remove one side, once we remove the password on this side, one of them, we're going to break that VRP group. But then once we remove it to the other one, they're going to come back together again. So let's go ahead and remove it from DSW1. Go to global config mode, interface VLAN 2. Let me see something here. Give me a minute here. Interface VLAN 2. Where's that password at? It should be somewhere in there. There it is right there. No, we're going to negate that password. So we should see our authentication messages right here pretty soon, right? Hello seconds. Hello is every second, and then it considers the other one. The whole timer is 10 seconds. That's why we had to wait for it.
A few moments later.
And then we got that bad authentication message. We got it over here too. Let's go ahead and go to VLAN 2 and take it out. Interface VLAN. My bad. VLAN 2. Come on, man. Interface VLAN 2. And then no. Where's that password at? It's in here somewhere. There it is right there. We got to know that. Somebody said that in a group meeting. They was like, yeah, you got to know it out. I was like, what? I knew what they meant, but when they said know it out, it was just kind of weird. On DSW1, configure group 2 to use MD5 authentication. And then they gave us a new password. So let's go to DSW1. Interface VLAN 2, which we're already there. We're going to say, how do we do that? Let's go to the cheat sheets real quick. To set up authentication with MD5 algorithm, you do VRP authentication and then MD5 key string and then the password. That's how you do it, right? in the next ad, we'll try to get tracking done here too. So we said it was VRP group 2, authentication, MD5 key string, and then the key string was MY80 $0 November capital L 485, enter. And then we should see that throw up again. We did. Let's go to DSW2 and put that password over there. Interface VLAN 2. VRP group 2 authentication MD5 key string, and we say MY80 $0 November capital L 48. That should stop those messages from coming back up again. They stop. On DSW1, display VRRP information on group 2. What do you notice about the master router for group 2? Oh, they basically had us check between. We already saw that the bad authentication messages were coming across, so we ain't have to do no show commands. They already let us know that it was broken. So now they want us on PC1 trace the path to the loopback again. Is he going to DSW2 now? Basically do the same thing and see if it's working. Do a trace route, and it should take 10.2.2 as the first hop again. And it did work. But now let's just verify that we're using an obfuscated password. Right? Say that word 5 times in a row. Show VRRP. And preemption is enabled. There it is right there. Authentication key string. But the funny thing is, you can still see the password there. Even though it's MD5. It's not really obfuscated in the show command. Is it in the running config? That's what I got to see. Let's see real quick. We're not getting that message anymore, are we? It looked like we're still getting that message. Yeah, it looks like we're still getting it. Let's double check though. Authentication, yeah, MD5. We're still getting that message, so that don't look like it's working there.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah, we're missing something here. Let's see. Did we put the right password? My 80 $0 NL48 485. That's what it is. I'm missing the 5 right there. Y'all see that?
Come on now. Hold up. Wait a minute. You ain't right.
Let's go back in there and fix that. Interface VLAN 2. We have to know this out. Put that back in and put the 5 right there. That's why it was still broken. Y'all see that? Now let's wait for it. Let's see if we get the authentication message anymore.
A few moments later.
It looked like it's working this time. Let's do a Control G. You have completed the lab successfully. Click OK, view the results. And yeah, we did. We did good on that lab right there. So make sure you join the Discord server if you don't know. I typically stream Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But lately I said I'm going to try to lab every day. And I'm going to stream sometime between 6 and 9 o'clock. If you're joining the Discord server, you'll know what time it is, right? And then you'll get the inside scoop of when I'll stream. So let me give you, if this is the first time you're joined to this channel here, invite and send you an invite. Pete said, oh, I missed the 5. I didn't see that, man. Whoops, did not mean to. Okay, yeah, I missed the 5. I didn't even see that, man, until later on, man. Appreciate that though, Pete. Let me put this in the chat right here. Make sure you're joined to the Discord server. I know it's Sunday night and there's not really many of y'all in here, but it is what it is. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's go ahead and do one more lab and then we're gonna call it a night. Tomorrow we're gonna do GLBP. We're gonna do GLBP, and I'm gonna use my actual hardware. Shout out to NH2122. That's me in the Discord server, and then we'll actually do some GLBP, which is another first hop routing protocol. I know you're probably done with those labs, man. But you know what? Repetition is the key to mastery, and this is how we learn this stuff at a deep subject, right? I mean, at a deeper level. It's just by doing this stuff every day, and I'm gonna try the lab every day, man. I'm gonna try my best to do it, man. I'm gonna try. Object tracking is the next lab, and then we're gonna call it a night. Y'all know I typically try to stream for about an hour, and then we try to get that going. So give me a second here. Let me see. Foster said, is there a default MAC address for VRRP? Yes, there is a default MAC address. I don't remember the exact one, but I think it's the last three numbers let you know what group it's in. And we could check by just doing show VRRP, but I already killed the stream. I mean, I already killed that lab, so I guess we can't see it. Let's see if it's already set up over here for object tracking. Let's go to DSW1. I think it's the same lab right here, or same topology. Nope, it's a different topology. Slightly different. It looks the same though. Let me just copy that though. Let's just copy that real quick. And then I'm gonna put it on Paint there. So if you have Boson NetSim, if you have a copy of this application, go ahead and fire it up. We're gonna do this together. The object tracking lab. Paste that bad boy. Oops. Control N for new. Don't save. Paste. Resize. 125. This is the lab we're gonna be working with. Network topology. Make this a little bit bigger. First task was to the VRP routers in this lab are layer 3 switches, will be referred to as routers. Layer 3 switches are capable of, we already know that stuff. We got some basic commands here. They did some VRP configuration already, looks like. So we could do the VRP there and check to see what that default MAC address that Foster asked about. But not yet. Remind me about that. I'm gonna have to configure VRP on this. DSW2 should be the master VRRP for VLAN 2 on the company network. So this guy right here is gonna be the master for VLAN 2. DSW1 will be the backup for VLAN 2. So this is going to be the backup router, the backup VRRP router. Remember, there's just different verbiage. HSRP has active and standby. VRRP has the master and backup, right? In this task, you will configure group 2 for VLAN 2. DSW1 will take over as the master when DSW2 goes down. So when this guy right here goes down, right, really similar. We did this pretty much all week, right? Then this guy is going to take over as the master. This guy right here, right? On DSW2's VLAN 2 interface, configure a priority of 110 for group 2. So let's go to DSW2 real quick. It's right over here. And I'm going to check what that virtual MAC address. Let's see if it's in the cheat sheet. I don't think so. Let's see. Nope, it don't look like they got the MAC addresses on here. Yeah, see, show VRP brief does work, but it don't work in Boson NetSim. Remember, Boson NetSim is a net. That's why they call it NetSim, net simulator. It simulates the environment of Cisco iOS, so it's not the real hardware, or it's not. Yeah, it's not real. It's not real software. So it just simulates it. Now, if you had an emulator or actual hardware, then you'll be able to run these commands. Show VRP brief. It does not work in Boson NetSim. So just take note of that. The virtual MAC addresses are not on there, but once we run that command, show VRP, we'll see what they are. But yes, there is a default MAC address, virtual MAC address, Foster, to answer your question. P said, yep, has 5E in the middle of the MAC address. Okay, there you go. Then the group number is somewhere at the end. Yes, it's a CCNA question. Yeah, they like to throw that question in there when they ask you about the virtual MAC addresses. What is the virtual MAC address for HSRP and VRRP? I don't remember if GLBP has one or not. So go to global config mode, interface VLAN 2. Interface VLAN 2. They said group 2 priority 110. So VRP 2 priority 110. On both DS1 and 2, give them the on group 2 virtual IP of 10.10.2.3. So these guys right here are going to be in the same group, sharing one IP address. There's a map. These guys right here are going to be in one VRP group. They're going to be sharing a virtual IP address. It is VRRP2 IP. Really similar to HSRP, man. 10.10.2.3. He is the master now. Go to DSW1, enable, global config mode, interface VLAN 2, VRRP 2, IP is 10.10.2.3. He's master. Then he became backup. He was like, hey, is anybody a VRRP master in here? And DSW2 already piped up and he said, yes, I'm the master. And he's like, all right, I'll be the backup then. And that's what happened there. Why? Because we set the other guy, this guy right here, we set this guy right here to have a higher priority. Hence the reason why he is the master. Right? Y'all with me so far? Which device is the master or which one's the backup? We just explained that. On PC1, trace the route. Ooh, we got 13 questions on the next task. So on trace the route to the loopback. Is traffic being forwarded to router 1 by DSW2? So basically, from PC1, similar to the last lab, this guy right here, they want to know if we're going to take this way, or actually, my bad, what am I doing? Take this way to get to router 1, right? So let's go ahead and trace that route. Go to PC1. Looks like I'm kind of breaking it over here. Ping. Y'all hit me that like button. 172 dot. Oops, damn, I messed it up. 172 dot. Damn, dot. 16.0.1. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do a trace route. We got the first hop of 10.10.2.2, which is most likely this guy right here, and we'll see by just doing a show VRRP. See, we can't do brief on here, just as legit. Let y'all know. Remember, Boson NetSim is a simulator, and the master router is local 10.10.2.2. So yes, he's going that way, just like we predicted. Task 2, which is the final task, but there's 13 questions within this and a couple subtasks, right? You have configured VRP for group 2. In this task, you will configure object tracking. So same thing what we did with via HSRP with our object tracking, except we're just doing it VRP. Very similar. It's just that one is open standard. They got different virtual MAC addresses, etc., etc., etc. On DSW2, configure tracking object with an ID of 1. So DSW2, this guy right here. Go to global config mode, VRRP. Oh, sorry. They said tracking object. I was so focused on VRP. A tracking object with an ID of 1. The object should track the line protocol of the link between DSW2 and router 1. So where's that at? DSW2 and router 1 is located here. Here's DSW2. Here's router 1. They say we should track the object, track the link that is between those two, which is this link right here. Right? They want us to track the object so that way when this link right here goes down, to alert us, right? When the line protocol of it is. But we have to do that from what interface on this router on DSW2? That interface right there, FA01. So we got to track that object right there. That'll let us know that this link is down, right? How do we do that? I believe it's just track and then FA, no. Interface, no. Oh, we got to do the object number, which is what they said, 1, and then FA, no. Now I got a question mark. Interface, FA 0/1, and then question mark, you'll see line protocol right there. And then that's pretty much it. So that is the whole syntax there. Don't worry, don't get too hung up on memorizing something like the order and stuff like that. Just know what it does and stuff like that. That's the main thing. I used to, back in the day when I used to study stuff, I used to think you have to know the exact syntax and stuff like that. Man, you can question mark through it. That's probably why they took out the simulators on the exams, because you could just question mark through and kind of use the process of elimination to figure out, the configuration and stuff like that. So they got rid of that. We press enter. That turns, we're going to be tracking the line protocol for that interface on DSW2's VLAN 2 interface. Configure group 2 to decrement the priority by 10 if the line protocol of the interface being tracked by track object 1 goes down. So that way we saying when this interface right here goes down, this interface that we've been talking about, or actually this interface right here, when it goes down, change my priority. It is now 110, decrement it by 10. That way we know it'll change us from being a master router to something else, most likely a backup, right? And that's what we're gonna do here. So we are let's go to interface VLAN 2, VLAN 2, and then we said VRRP 2 track. What are we tracking? FA or interface. How you do it? Decrement. Geez, see, question mark. This is why, like I said, don't worry about getting too hung up on the syntax. So track object is track number 1. That's the track object. Decrement by how many? We said 10. That's the value. Not what number you want it to be at, but how many you want to subtract from the priority. In this case, they said decremented by 10 when track object 1 goes down. And that's what we're doing there. On DSW1, display VRRP information. Is DSW1 still the backup router? Is DSW2 still the master router? So they want us to verify who's master, who's backup still. And we didn't touch anything yet, so most likely he is the master and he should still be the backup, right? Let's run some show commands to verify that. Y'all, let me know if y'all got any questions or anything so far. What we got over here so far? Let me get caught up here. All right, y'all with me? Y'all can still hear me and stuff like that? Let me know if I'm losing you, if there's anything you want to know. There's no such thing as a dumb question on my channel. VRRP. We see that this guy's the backup. DSW2 should be the master. Show VRRP. And we'll see he is the master. And back to Foster's question. Just like Pete said, 5E in the middle. Right? That lets us know this is the virtual MAC address, right? And then the group number is right here. The last 2 numbers right there is the group number. 01, I forgot what that meant. But it's definitely something. And HSRP is just this number, but it's really all 3 of these numbers that let you know what group it's in and something else. Is it the VLAN? I don't remember. Well, I might have to let's double check that. I can't remember. VRRP VMAC is, let's see what that is. Yeah, there's a 5E in the middle, just like Pete said, and then I don't see what the syntax. I mean, what the let's just look at Wikipedia, my favorite source. Yeah, it is the last 2 numbers, and that tell you the group number. I thought the 1 had something to do with it too, but no, this tell you the group number, and we already know that it's in group 2. Hence the reason there's a 02 at the very end of it. What was the next? So I hope that answers your question, Foster. Display VRP configuration on DSW2. Is VRP group 2 monitoring track object 1 for state changes? And how do we do that? It's show track. That's some of the reasons why I like it when these commands are straightforward. Sometimes they are not, though, right? We are tracking object yes, FA02, the line protocol we are checking. It is up and is being tracked by VRRP, VLAN 2, and then I forgot what the 2 stand for. I believe that's the group number right there. So yes, it is tracking the object for state changes. On DSW2, shut down the FA01 interface. So right now they want us to shut this interface right here down. This interface right here, or rather, this one right here. They want us to shut down that interface, right? Put an X there. Stop that right there. We're almost gonna wrap this up right here. So interface, I'm gonna go to global config mode. Interface FA. I'm glad we did the VRP lab because the hardware would have went over. Shut that interface down. We took down OSPF. We took down the interface. We got a tracking object. We should see in about 10 seconds.
A few moments later.
This state change with VRP. Do we see that just yet? Not yet.
A few moments later.
It don't look like it. It looks like we might have to. I think it's something with the priority. That's probably what they had us do. On DSW2, display information. Which device is the master router? Let's see. Show VRRP. He is still the master. And then DSW1, what is he? Looks like it didn't change anything, right? He is still the backup. So we probably didn't change. There's something we probably got to change here and they're gonna walk us through this. On DSW2, re-enable the FA01 interface. So let's re-enable that interface. Bring that bad boy back up. Probably because let's see, we decremented it by 10. We went to the priority of 100. What happened to this guy? His priority is, they're tied. Who has the higher IP address though? That's the question. Let's see. His priority is 100. They're tied at 100 for the priority. So it probably goes by the IP address now. That's probably why. Let's re-enable that interface like they said. Go to global config mode, interface VLAN 2. No shut. Configure group 2 to decrement the priority by 11. DSW2, configure group 2 to decrement the priority by 11. Okay, so now remember we decremented it by 10. That made it a tie. So now we decremented by 11. That means our priority is going to be 99, right? I know I ain't no math major, but you know, we know that you know, we're going to decrement it by 11, right? 110 minus 11 is going to be 99. So that's the reason why they have us do that. So go to DSW2. We know shut that. And let's say on DSW2's interface, group 2, decrement the priority. So on interface, let's go back on that. VLAN 2, VRP 2, track. The object was 1, decrement. By what? 11. Now we're decrementing by 11. Now they want us to shut it down and then do that. So now we're the backup. Did we no shut it? I don't think we no shut that interface. That's what happened. That's why we're now with the backup. No shut. On DSW2, shut down the interface. What do you notice about the debug output on the console? Let's shut it down again and do that again. And there it is right there. We shut it down. Standby, init. Oh, you know what? We were supposed to shut down. My bad. We were supposed to shut down not the interface VLAN, but the FA01 interface. So no shut that. Go back. And then that's why we went to init state. Interface FA0/1. Shut this bad boy down. That's what I meant to do.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
My bad for leading y'all astray there. What do you notice about the debug output on DSW2's console? It looks like we became a backup right there. Let's double check though. Show VRP. We are a backup. Let's look at DSW1 and look like he's the master. As you can see on the syslog messages there, show VRP, and he is the master. So now, just like we said, now he is not the backup. He is now the. We just kind of flipped it around. Instead of BM, we got an MB right there, right?
Bruh.
So now, which device is the master router and why? Because of the priorities. We changed the priority once the interface shut down, right? And we'll see the priority for the one on the left is 100, and DSW2, the one on the right, his priority is 99. See that? Now they want us to do a trace route from PC1. PC1. What hop is he taking this time? He is taking 10.10.2.1. Last time he took .2, so that means he's taking this way to get there. He is going this way to get to router 1. Last time he was going this way. But now that this interface right here is down, that's why there's that red X there. He can't go this way, so now he got to go this way, right? But see, if we didn't do tracking, it would still be sending this traffic that way, and then it would be basically taking an extra hop, basically, to get there. It'll still make it there because they're in a group, but again, it would take an extra hop to make it to the router. On DSW2, re-enable that interface. What do you notice about the debug output? So now what they want us to do is, we're almost done here, y'all. We're gonna wrap it up right at 9 o'clock. They want us to bring this interface back up and see what happens. interface FA01 on DSW2. Go to global config mode, interface VLAN. I'm sorry, interface FA0/1. No shut. Bring that back up. We got tracking, syslog message, line protocol message, VRRP message. We went from backup to master. So now we should see they swapped. So now this guy again should be the master, and I believe this guy should be the backup, right? Let's see what his is. Yep, he is the backup right there. We got by that syslog message from PC1 trace to do a trace route from router 1. I mean, from PC1 to router 1, and how's the traffic being forwarded? So now that we brought it back up, we were going this way because this interface right here was down. But now that we brought it back up, they want us to submit verify that we're going this way, which should be 10.2, right? We went to .1 to going on the left. .2 should be on the right. So let's do a trace route again. Wait for it, and we're taking .2. So we did take the route like we predicted there. I typically stream Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But lately, I said I've been on this kick. I said I'm gonna try to stream and lab every day. I'm gonna live by that mantra that I said I was gonna do. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, believe it or not, of lab every day. That remind me to lab every day, because this is how we're gonna learn these topics and ingrain it in our heads and stuff like that. If you're not, if this is the first time you're on this channel, make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Again, I typically stream sometime between 6 and 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna try to do that every day. I'm gonna put it in the group chat, the Discord server, and that'll let you know what time I'm gonna stream. So unless you want to sit around for 3 hours until I stream, that's cool with me too. But if you're a part of the notification gang, then you'll just know, right? But if you really want the inside scoop, because sometimes I'll go on IG Live or whatever, make sure you follow me on IG and Twitter at NetworkBruh, and then I will be, sometimes I'll go, like I'll set up my hardware and basically a whole setup for when I'm streaming and stuff like that, and you get a kind of behind the scenes look of how I stream and stuff like that, or before I stream. So let me put that in the group chat right there. He said hit the bruh. You want the bruh button? Bruh. There you go. We still got the bruh button there, Schmo. Appreciate you for tuning in though. But here's the Discord server. He said, so group 15 is, oh, okay, yes. That's a good point that Pete made there. The last two numbers is the group ID. The last two numbers is the group ID in hexadecimal. So it's not in what, binary? Is that what they say, or base 10, however you want to say it? But the last two numbers. So if we look at the virtual MAC address, right? Just like what he was saying. Even though this is group 2, that 02 doesn't necessarily mean it's group 2 like that. So we do show VRP, and there's the virtual MAC address right there, right? It says 02, but if it's like he said, if it's group 15 or any number that's higher than what's the numbers? Any number that's higher than 10? Any number that's higher than 10, or is it higher than 15? Any number that's higher than 15 is written out in hex. You'll see a different number, so you're not going to see a group 99 there. You'll just see it written out in hex. I can't remember. I don't remember. But if you do a Control G, let's see. Did we do the lab completely? Yes, we did complete the lab successfully. So looks like we should get another check mark right here.
Another one.
Yes, we did. So we got all these other labs right here. All these green check marks are the ones we've streamed and done. We probably, I might restream. Nah, I'm gonna do these on my own because I believe I did stream these. I probably just didn't fix it all the way or something. I don't remember. But once we get all these green check marks, we'll move on to the RC Labs, which is a specialty certification lab or exam for Cisco's CCNP track, route switch track, and it's advanced routing and switching. So, and that was the exam that I took. I made an attempt already, and I already failed it. But I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna be studying labbing every day, so I hope you guys join me in studying stuff like that. If I said thanks, Pete, Bubba Boy 1830, put a 9 there. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you guys for tuning in. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll do. I don't think we'll do GLBP on here. We're gonna actually fire up my hardware here. I hope you guys. Well, if you're on IG, you'll see the hardware that I use for the actual for the labs. Today we used a simulator, but tomorrow I'm gonna actually cable this up and use this for the GLBP lab. I believe there's VRP in it as well. I got to recable this up, but you'll be able to watch the cabling in the what do you call it on IG Live. But anyway, for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.